Let's go. Niggers?
Is pyrocinical a groomer? While I first stated no, after these new leaks, I don't feel comfortable saying no. That being said, Ivory's basic message can be legitimately proven to be true. When he was 19 years old, pyrocinical messaged a 15-year-old sexually. Pyro frames this as a disingenuous move on my part.
This document is cowardly. I mean, like, the ending is no exception. Like, they don't even definitively state if I groomed anyone. They just leave enough room for people to draw that conclusion themselves without openly saying.
But in reality, this was me doing my best to put all of the information on the table and allow some room for interpretation for what people think. I intentionally didn't make a judgment call, and I tried to make more non-definitive statements in the document as more information was, and still is, coming out. I wanted anyone to be able to draw their conclusions about the topic. This is not malicious or cowardly in any way, as pyrocinical claims.
Your time has come. There's no way out of this one.
Bro, stop. The fucking name of the fucking document is called Proving Pyro's Guilt, Debunking Every Argument. The argument being that the allegations of grooming are false. Not only that, but literally in previous videos before this one, you've straight out basically just called Pyro a pedo. So I'm pretty sure the only reason why you're quote-unquote leaving it up to interpretation is so that you can make these claims but at the same time have no actual responsibility for them.
And this is probably burning a big bridge, but I'm not going to sit here and lie about what you did. Pyrocinical, at age 19, was messaging a 15-year-old boy and using him as an opportunity for sexual gratification. He knew his age at the time, and after the fact, he lied about it in a terrible Reddit post because he knew it was exactly what his audience wanted. There really isn't any debate about that, and it is completely fair to call him a weird, creepy guy. He is by all accounts a freak, and the people who defend him are either extremely dumb or willfully ignorant. I don't know which is worse. These allegations, which most say are 100% false, are maybe 5% false. I can't wait until someone with even more damning accusations and even more proof than Ivory comes out, and dipshits like prison mate Luke either justify what they did or do mental gymnastics to lie. However, once analyzing the evidence, there is no other conclusion that I can reach other than that pyrocinical is full of shit, literally and metaphorically. The evidence really speaks for itself. Ivory Rasmus did not lie, and Pyro has no verifiable contradictory evidence thus far. The accusation of pyrocinical being a pedo or a groomer has been dropped for weeks by most people, and I have rarely seen anyone of importance saying this. A few people may assert it or imply it, and I want to take control of this right now and say that I don't support anyone calling him a pedo, because there's no adequate evidence to say that. And claiming that I have made false allegations against pyrocinical is simply untrue. Additionally, Pyro's point about him being suspended on Twitter was fair, and it made a few of the points in my document significantly weaker. A decent portion of the document was dedicated to claiming that Pyro knew the age when he was 15. Admittedly, Pyro did a good job of defending himself from that in this case. However, when he was 16, Pyro admitted to having known about his age and continuing to talk to him in his video. Pyro's strongest point from the video comes from the idea that the minor DM came after Ivory had turned 16, which he claims nullifies it.
As for the other message, I don't remember seeing this message, and I'm not sure why it's being used as proof that I knew he was 15, because if you compare the dates, this message was sent 2 months after he sent me his link with his age in bio.
And I would concede on this point if Pyro had stopped talking to Ivory once he learned of the age gap, which he didn't, and Pyro admits this in the video.
In retrospect, I never should have continued the furry stuff with him once I learnt of his age, even though at the time I didn't see it as a problem. When Ivory linked me his Twitter profile, the age in bio says 16. This is something I acknowledged in my Reddit post, but to be fair, I probably didn't elaborate enough on it. In retrospect, I never should have continued the furry stuff with him once I learnt of his age, even though at the time I didn't see it as a problem.
I hate this channel.
No! No! Legally, age of consent is 16 in both my country and his state.
And as for the idea that I twisted it from roleplay into actual conversations about sex, well, that's exactly what it was. You're telling this guy that you're going to eat his cock up with your ass, and at the same time claiming that this has absolutely no basis in reality. Which is ridiculous, because that's exactly what you're fantasizing about doing. Roleplay itself is literally fantasizing about having sex and sexual interactions. I don't know how he would even try to make this point. You could make the argument that you're just imagining your personas having sex, but this doesn't line up with the actual DMs between Ivory and Pyro, where he says stuff like, "I bet your cock is so hard from imagining that, and I bet that turns you on." This even lines up with the messages between Ivory and Ida, so the idea that this is all just nothing doesn't really make sense to me.
Alright, you should probably shut the fuck up before I eat your ass.
Tom, actually shut the fuck up here. This was the most retarded and funniest part of your video I had to edit together. You have no idea what roleplay is. Roleplay is immersing yourself as another character. You are not you, and the other person is not themselves in this case. Yeah, Pyro may be fapping off to this, but he's not fapping off to the thought of Ivory. He's fapping off to the thought of these weird, fat, furry fucking dragons. Also, if you actually read the messages of the screenshots in your own video, it's quite clearly not in the realm of reality. I mean, some of the shit they are talking about reverse vor. Someone is going up another person's ass and then coming out of their mouth. How did you link this to actual sex? I want to know your story, bro. Let me try and explain it in the most basic way. If you have a person called Jeff, you're not going to go to Jeff's face and say, "I want to suck Jeff's cock." You're going to say, "I want to suck your cock." The roleplay is quite clearly supposed to be person to person kind of thing. Like these two people are having a direct interaction with each other. So the messages reflect that. Like, come on, man.
Like,
did he ever ask you for nudes?
No.
No.
Fetish mining is a technique used by people with unconventional fetishes to either normalize or rope participants into their gratification. For example, if someone had a foot fetish and asked people for photos of their feet for innocuous reasons, this, by definition, Dive Morton is then brought in to downplay this, stating that it was a public event and a lot of people who Pyro didn't know were invited as well. This is all irrelevant. Do you think Ivory would have just flown home after a night of underage drinking? And do you think that nothing sexual happens after public event?
Okay. Was there any, when he invited you, was there any kind of indication that it was sort of a date in any way? That there would be a wink wink, that there would be some kind of, date-like act with sexual interaction? Did he give you that idea at all?
He didn't, like, if he was, I didn't pick up on it.
The idea that simply because he wasn't dating Ida at the time, she would have no reason to talk about Ivory's age to him is kind of laughable. Pyro frames this as if they were barely friendly at the time, when Ida clearly says that they were calling every other day in DMs, and we can see group chats from this time when they were all together.
Now, reality can be whatever I want.
Before even getting into contact with me, I didn't commission it. What was drawn wasn't pornographic. They'd drawn very similar stuff before, and there was no roleplay here. It was nothing. And the thing is, this wasn't even a call-out post. The person that made the original video just said it was funny.
Pyro also points to an instance where his character was being drawn by someone who he knew was 15 years old, after he asked them to, which I brought up here in a tweet. He claims that there was nothing pornographic about the drawing, and while on a technicality he may be right, if we zoom in on the image that he shows in the video, we can see his Fox character wearing underwear with a bulge, as well as turned around with its ass drawn in detail. If this isn't not safe for work, I don't know what is.
Ignoring the fact that he didn't commission it, and that person draws shit like that on a daily, then yes, pyrocinical probably should not have asked for this person to draw this shit. But at the same time, if it's so pornographic and the definition of NSFW, then why do you have both front and cheeks visible for everyone to see?
You son of a bitch.
On June 11th, 2016, 2 days after Pyro's video, Keemstar tweeted out screenshots from the French girl in question in which Pyro plainly stated that they had a relationship and that he was happy to wait for her to turn 16. This implied that there was far more merit to the allegations than first believed. But how would we know that this screenshot is real? Well, Pyrocinical himself confirmed that they were when released. On his subreddit, he wrote a long response to the leak, where instead of denying their validity, he tries to explain away each message point by point. He claims that the relationship was just a friendly relationship, and that he only said relationship once in the screenshot. However, he then states that he was happy to wait for her to hit 16, meaning nothing sexual transpired, and he was happy to wait for her to reach the age of consent if they were to ever have a proper relationship. So they never had a relationship, but he was waiting for her to reach the age of consent just in case?
I mean, it's not really that hard to understand what he's talking about when you read it for a little bit. Like, he's basically saying that his relationship with this French girl was clearly on a friendship basis. They were not girlfriend or boyfriend, nothing like that. However, if it looked like their relationship was heading that way, or if it was heading that way, he would stop conversation with her until she was 16.
And then admitted in later edits that he didn't even know what the age of consent was in her country, something that he seemed so ardent about in his current video.
Tom, genuine question. Why in this video, when you're trying to spin a narrative, you include screenshots that go against what you just said? You said that he didn't know the age of consent in France, but he clearly says in the screenshot, also, I understand that in France the age of consent is 15, but I stand by what I said. He's saying, I know the age of consent in France is 15, however, I am not comfortable dating someone who's not legal in my own country. He even states that's why he said 16 in the screenshot. Not only that, but you try to link this case to the Ivory case, and if we go by the screenshot of him saying that he's not comfortable with dating someone who's not legal in his own country, then we can assume he didn't know that Ivory was 15.
Keemstar tweeted out screenshots from the French girl in question in which Pyro plainly stated that they had a relationship and that he was happy to wait for her to turn 16. This implied that there was far more merit to the allegations than first believed.
If you actually read the message in the screenshot, it says, like I said, I was happy to wait for you to hit 16, and then she says, you didn't though. Like, come on, bro, you can be better than this. Just read your own screenshots.
But wait, there's more. He said in his Reddit post in 2016 that nothing sexual happened. And when I spoke to her, she also confirmed that no nudes took place. They obviously didn't meet each other in real life.
Person of color,
I suppose, but you know, there's another part to this too. If he didn't do anything sexual, and she backs that up, and there wasn't even any dirty talk. I mean, it's going to be a dead issue, and not just in Pyro's fans' eyes, but most people in general.
I mean, you kind of fucked up by trusting Keem here whatsoever. If Keem isn't lying about having this interview with this chick, then that means your whole argument that they were more than just friends kind of falls flat, because he literally just says he has to admit to Tommy C there was no sexual images exchanged, there was no furry roleplay, there was no dirty talk, there was nothing whatsoever between them.
At what point will we admit that the hard truth is just that, the truth? For most Pyro fans, probably never. And why are people so accepting of Pyrocinical's response? Because they want to be.
It's all just Pyro fans. Always has been.
So is Pyrocinical innocent? Is Tom the master manipulator?
Yeah.
And in the end, what has happened again? While Pyro admits some wrongdoing in his video, his fans claim that his response was never bad in the first place. They don't criticize him for what he admits to doing, instead proclaiming him innocent in my comment section. Right back to where we started. Ivory is harassed and called a clout chaser and a liar, and now I'm also called a clout chaser and a liar. Well, none of these...
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Lots of people have seemed to claim that I am merely a clout chaser who is insulting Pyro and going after him for views. If you take one look at my backlog of videos and the work I've collaborated with others on, it's obvious that I have time and time again defended people who did not deserve the hand they were dealt. YouTubers who have had completely false allegations made against them. I know these allegations inside and out, and that's not what is happening here.
I mean, if you are going to mention your track record, on top of the fact that you're digging up this old French girl drama shit that happened with Pyro 4 years ago, then I do think it's fair for me to bring up Mr. Enter.
And truth be told, I didn't even want to make this video, but oh wait, yes I did, because once again Mr. Enter has shown that he is an incompetent fool who has no idea what he's doing whatsoever.
Tit for tat, as you will.
Basically, he makes poorly done reviews of cartoons and steals jokes from infinitely more successful YouTubers in an effort to gain some notoriety of his own.
Says the guy who has stolen jokes and criticisms from Mars Reviews and Rebel Taxi verbatim. The word of the day, boys and girls, is projection. Seriously, dude. Your critiques ripped off from Mars Reviews are painfully obvious. Except, give Mars Reviews credit, he didn't insinuate that I was a pedophile.
Ah, good. A weird, lonely, socially inept man is going to be explaining what it is like to grow up like a little girl. Well, I guess their interest in My Little Pony and dating prepubescent boys will be one thing in common.
Multiple times.
Yo. I have a feeling that Enter's idea of a thank you video was him stripping down nude and sending people pictures of his little Johnny to the kids who pay money to see his show.
Turkey, considering that you sound like you're in high school, I'm going to explain this as reasonably as I can. People have both been killed and killed others over that exact accusation. And when you get out of high school, making claims like those, either in real life or even on the internet, can bite you in the ass. It's called slander, and you can be sued for it. I know that you're thinking that what you do on the internet has no consequences, but it does.
With not even 300,000 subscribers, for someone who has never made an animation in his entire life and has never shown that he is capable of producing one piece of good writing, either from his reviews, his atrocious book, or his somewhat pedophilic show concept, I feel like this is Enter sort of projecting, telling his audience preemptively that he's a creep or a horrible person of some kind before he gets outed for it by someone else. I mean, not saying he is necessarily, even though he has done some rather pedophilic illustrations in his past.
That is an absolute lie. I've drawn children, you know, fully clothed and going on non-sexual adventures. But if that's what you consider pedophilic, we got some problems with the entire animation industry. Because we have, what? Hey Arnold, Kids Next Door, Rugrats? Oh my god, those are babies! There's Fillmore, there's Recess. Do I even need to go on about this to show how ludicrous of an accusation this is? But I get it, you gotta be edgy if you want them views, and you want Senpai Mars or Rebel Taxi to notice you.
When I was a kid, maybe 11 years old or so, I had a dream that one day I would create a cartoon.
Yo. Hey, buddy. I got some turpentine, some wax, and some high-gloss boat paint. This shit is really expensive.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're telling me. I picked us up some new slacks and docksiders so we could have the right look, you know, and fit in and everything. We're running pretty low on remaining dick towel money, though.
Plus, we gotta fill that thing up with gas.
I know, man. We gotta pop by the department store, pick up the mattress. And I want to get a nice one, too, you know what I'm saying?
The what? The mattress? What do we need a mattress for?
What do you mean, what do we need a mattress for? Why in the hell do you think we just spent all that money on a boat? The whole purpose of buying the boat in the first place was to get the ladies nice and tipsy topside so we can take them to a nice, comfortable place below deck and, you know, they can't refuse because of the implication.
Oh, okay. You had me going there for the first part. The second half kind of threw me.
Well, dude, think about it. She's out in the middle of nowhere with some dude she barely knows. You know, she looks around her. What does she see? Nothing but open ocean. There's nowhere for me to run. What am I going to do? Say no?
Okay, that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Now, you've said that word implication a couple of times. What implication?
The implication that things might go wrong for her if she refuses to sleep with me. Now, not that things are gonna go wrong for her, but she's thinking that they will.
But it sounds like she doesn't want to have sex
Why aren't you
with
understanding
I
this?
don't...
She doesn't know whether she wants to have sex with me. It's that
she doesn't
That's not
know?
the issue.
Are you going to hurt women?
I'm not going to hurt these women.
Okay.
Why would I ever hurt these women? I feel like you're not getting this at all.
I'm not getting it.
God damn. Well, don't you look at me like that. You certainly wouldn't be in any danger.
So they are in danger?
No one's in any danger. How can I make that any more clear to you? Okay, it's an implication of danger. You know what? Just drop it.
Let's drop it.
You're not going to buy your shit and let's get out of here.
Just wanted to say thanks for getting through the whole video. If you liked the video, then like it. If you disliked the video, then dislike it. If you want to subscribe, then go ahead. The links to my Discord and all the other shit that I've put on screen will be in the description below.